visit fixing tech with glee. Old gadgets, new life, he's the chosen one. Every broken circuit, he's gonna get it done. From vintage TVs to your old cassette, with a trusty soldering iron, there's no regret. Turning back the clock, making them shine. Rolling Titus magic, it's simply divine. Hey, like and subscribe. Join the crew, Rolling Titus on YouTube. He's waiting for you. 16-year-old electronics, bringing them back. Zero in now, you're on the right track. He's got the flow, he's got the style. Every DIY hack makes it all worthwhile. Capacitors dancing, resistors in line. With a grin on his face, he's crossing the tide. From video games to the stereo's beat, Rolling Titus brings the fix, can't accept defeat. Watch him unravel, watch him restore. Every click and pop, you're gonna want more. Hey, like and subscribe. Join the crew, Rolling Titus on YouTube. He's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So gather round, folk, it's more to the show. It's a journey through time, come on, let's go. With every episode, the wonders unfold. Rolling Titus, a story to be told. No broken dreams in his workshop space, just a passion for fixing a welcoming place. Each step of the way, you'll learn something new. From repairing a lamp to a classic Atari 2. With a twist of his wrench and a turn of the dial, you'll be flipping through channels in no time, we'll smile. Throw your hands up, it's a community vibe. Feel that electric pulse, feel that old tribe. Get your gear ready, let's spark up the chat. Rolling Titus is the name, remember that. Hey, like and subscribe. Join the crew, Rolling Titus on YouTube. He's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So if you've got gadgets that need a good home, Rolling Titus is the place. No need to run. With every new fix, you'll feel the blast. Join the journey now, let's make tech last.
Alright, going to be working on some classic DeWalt battery packs. So, for those who have these things, you know what they are. And you also know DeWalt also doesn't make them anymore. So, they wanted you to upgrade all your tools to the, I call them the sled packs, but, you know, if it's not broke, why replace it? But these battery packs are all dead. They don't hold a charge. And for the ones that do hold a charge, you don't get much life out of them. It's sad. So, back in the day, I was searching for these things on eBay, and I bought like 20 of them because they were being sold in 10 packs. So, I'm on the final 4, but they're shot. So, in other years that I've dealt with these things, I either replaced them or I tried a couple of different sources of rebuild service, but they never lasted any longer or had a lot less lifespan than the originals. So, I sort of gave up on them for a little while and just keep charging them when, you know, they die and stuff like that. Recent years, all the China Pride clones and stuff like this come out, and all the clones are all they're pretty much garbage. I've had several different choices. I tried several different kinds. They all come in nickel metal hydride. For whatever reason, they don't last any longer than the NiCads. In fact, they're even worse, where they got no capacity. They just don't like to be used. So, and they're also a lot lighter than the NiCad. So, I'm going to open these up probably at the end of this, toward the end of the stream, and see what kind of garbage is really in them, because I've never been in one of these. Really, the only value with these is the carcass, the housing. So, probably more than likely, I'm going to rip out whatever's inside of these things and put good old-fashioned nickel cadmium back in them. So, for those who don't know, inside these cells, these battery packs are, of course, individual batteries. The sub-C variety. So, went on Amazon, went on eBay, you know, there's not much. You don't really know how these things are for quality and stuff like that. Who really knows? They're probably not even worse than a rebuild service. But I kind of dealt with Tenergy. They seem to have some decent cells. So I got a bunch of their sub-C batteries. So amazingly, they come in 15 packs, which is exactly how many cells are in these things. So we're going to rebuild it. And this is going to be my first time actually rebuilding a battery here in-house, since I have the welder and stuff like that. We're going to weld up a brand new battery pack. So here's a sub-C battery. It's not much to look at. It's just a plain Jane cell with a paper coating on it for an insulator, and that's what's inside. Not much fanfare. So let's without further ado open this up and rebuild it. Got way too much light, that's for sure. That's better. So I think these are Torx. Some of these battery packs, they try to keep you out of them by putting the security Torx in there, which is, you know, created by man, can be defeated by man. So I think there's a date on these. I think these are 2014s, or they could be maybe even 2005. I really don't know. These are old. I know they're old. I've had these for a long time, until I finally burned through all of them. Yeah, I think these are 2005. Made in Japan. So in recent years, I have opened these, so I know exactly how to open them. So take the screws out, and these are currently at 0 volts because they've been sitting in the hole. So you got to take something small and pop up on the battery pack as you're pushing down on this part. So here's what's inside. As you would expect, it's a battery pack with a temperature sensor and wires and insulators and stuff like that. So, of course, this is the main cell of the connection point, and these are all, like I said, these are all welded, and this is welded to the cell. This cell is particularly upside down on purpose for the configuration. So just a matter of prying the rest of it out of here. And usually they're held in with glue on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to work on prying that out. So unlike the lithium packs, these are a lot less dangerous to be playing with if you stab the cells or anything. And some say, well, why didn't you just upgrade all your battery packs to the sled type and get an adapter? Well, I've tried that. The problem is that some of these tools draw so much amperage, it actually melts the wires inside the adapter. And this one's particularly tough to get out. So, been there, tried that, and it doesn't work. Because it would have been a great way to get rid of these NiCads. So we're going to keep this nearby because we're going to use this as a kind of like a cell holder. So we'll keep that over there. So I want to work on the bottom side for right now because it's going to be the easiest part to start with. So just a matter of getting this insulator out so we can look at the configuration. So more than likely, I'm going to end up destroying this. Yep, here it is. Here's a date code right here, 2005. So it's 2025, so these things are, what, 20 years old? Of course, these have been long in the weeds. Yeah, this is all going to just break apart. Sometimes you can save these, but more often than not, you're not going to in this particular case. Maybe if I apply some heat, maybe it'll, whatever adhesive is in there might release. These are gooey. I got some good stuff for adhesive, that's for sure. So, So that gives us our layout here. So originally we had the pack like that. So we're going to flip it over away from me, just so I can see where the cells are at. And then we are going to do that one like that with the top. So we'll put that like that. And then we'll just start putting some cells in. Oh, we got one there. And ideally, if I was doing this like professionally, I would probably match these for the internal resistance of these things, but I'm not going to do that because it's just a lot more work, and I know for a fact that these rebuilt cells are not going to have a very nice life. I'm not the only one that uses the tools, so the other users are very hard on these cells or battery packs where they just run right down to zero, wait for that brief little recharge, and then they pop it again, and it just kills these things. So let's see, that's a positive. We got two positives. There we got a negative, another negative facing up. And a negative over here. And then the two positives facing up. Negative facing down, facing up, I should say, and then that one's like that. And then we got our finer cell here. That's going to be our top cell. So I'll just verify that this is right. So that one, that one, that one, a positive, and then this one, that one, and then we got these two. That one, top, that one's the top, that one's the bottom. Okay, so just a matter of welding these together, and yes, you're going to have to weld them. You could solder them, but I think with the current draw, I think I know for a fact these things get hot enough, it would probably melt the solder, and you would lose connections. So just one of the deals, if you want to do this, you're going to have to invest in a fairly beefy battery welder. And of course, we all know which one I got. Of course, I got that little secure battery welder, but you need something with a little bit more ass in it. So we're going to get my classic one out that I built that uses pretty much a automotive relay and a controlled short circuit to weld battery packs, and we're going to hook it up to 16 volts from a Noco boost charger, battery booster, to give this thing some juice. So we'll get set up here, turn the Noco on, we're going to put an override, so I got battery power. And we're going to set the welder to make a pretty good weld, because these things on here, if you try to rip them apart, you basically just get like little spurts of ripped metal and stuff like that. So we're going to find a power level here that's going to be just short of burning through the nickel strip, but enough to give you a good, decent weld. So I've already pre-cut these things. So we're going to try our first weld here to see how well it does. So a good test is to try to rip it apart. Looks decent from the top, but I want more power. So we're just gonna experiment here. That looks decent. I like that. It sort of looks like, not gonna look like factory, but it's gonna be pretty damn close. Might even turn it up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm gonna like that. So, we will continue on welding these. And these leads are gonna get warm after a little while. That looks like a decent weld. I like that one. Okay. Now we're gonna do this one. Make sure our positive is good. That one. Then we got this one. That one. Now we're going to start jumping across. Then we got this one. So once you got all the tools here, it's pretty simple. It's actually going quite well, quite quickly actually. So like I said, them leads are already starting to get hot. They're actually hot now. That's how much amps is going through these things. Okay, so that's the bottom side. So now we're going to take this, we're going to rotate it that way. We're going to take this and we're going to rotate it this way. And we're going to gather all these cells and put them back in. that off the side. Now we gotta get all this insulation off. And we gotta take apart our little top cell here. Get the heat gun back out. How's the battery in this thing? Let that warm up for a minute. So it's another rainy Saturday here. We've had a wet weekend every weekend since the middle of November of 2024. Either Saturday or Sunday or both. It's either rained, snowed, and it's just miserable and dreary out. And right now it's pouring out. So it's been raining so much where it actually drew the attention of the media, and they're like, what is it with the weather where it rains every weekend and why? It's like, well, it just happens to be that's the way it's happened. Where the hell am I? There it is. This stuff's brittle. Being at the top of the battery, all the heat cycles, this stuff is so brittle. Because I remember when these batteries would come back just completely roasting. It's like, yeah, these things ain't gonna last that long. And they don't. So, eventually the tools will be eventually they'll start breaking down and breaking. I think I killed one drill already. Had a couple of reciprocating saws. They got dropped, so they split in half. They can only take so many drops and then they just start breaking. But the biggest killer of these little guys is the circular saw, the little circular saws that are used with these. They absolutely kill these things. Same thing with the reciprocating saw. Just draws so many amps out of these things, and then of course I know better, but other people who use my tools, they don't know any better. They don't notice that decrease in speed, and that's a tale that your battery is telling you that it's ready to be recharged. And when you ignore that and just keep going, the biggest killer of these things is your battery pack is only as good as the weakest cell. So that weak cell, once it goes down to 0 and the rest of the pack is still sort of up to snuff, that one cell will actually go in negative voltage. And once it does that, basically you just killed the battery pack, because that cell usually never recovers on its own. Even though it will take a charge, it doesn't hold the capacity like it used to. So under here we got some trickery we're going to have to recreate for insulation purposes. The bottom of the battery pack really doesn't matter, it's this top part, and it's where this one cell stacks on top of the rest of them. That's going to have to be recreated. Then we're going to have to do the final connections, because there's just one little wire that has to be soldered on to something. I think it's soldered onto a cell. Using a tab. And then we got this stuff going on here. So we got our temperature sensor that's taped to a cell. That doesn't really matter. These things get so roasting hot that you don't even need the sensor taped to a cell. It just tells the charger not to charge it. Too hot, and you'll see that little quick flashing. So that's got a little tab on the soldered. It's actually got a welded tab on there, but usually you can get a good enough connection to just spot soldering a spot on there. So we'll just desolder that, and then we'll take the wire off. So let the soldering iron heat up. Then we got some more insulating silliness. And then we got this trickery. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of that so I don't forget. How that goes together. So for this part, so we gotta get all this, gotta salvage this part up here. Usually I think somebody sells these top parts, but we're not gonna go there. So there's our little sensor. And then we got this mess. However the hell they did that, which is weird. Some of these cells are not even welded very nice on here. Like this thing is way off to the side. There's that. So keep that intact. Then we gotta take this off. And this one's one of the few ones. Is that actually a hole in there? Oh, they all got holes in them. Okay. I was gonna say, holy crap. I'm gonna rip that off. Like I said, this battery's completely dead, so it doesn't matter if I short anything. So we got to recreate that in a spell. So now we'll recreate this to this. So and of course, you can buy these strips already pre-cut. This they call it like H strip or something like that. But I buy it by the roll. It's good enough in my application, especially when you might as well say temporary repair until somebody kills these things. That one. Put this one. Of course, with this one, it'll come to the point where this battery pack will be live. Part of it probably already is. Boy, these things are getting hot. I need to get some more insulation properties on these probes. Suckers are hot. Okay, we got this one. Well, the NOCO is already complaining that it's overheating and it's shut down. That's how much current is actually going through here. So you can see that the light's flashing. It's hot. I'm too hot. So we'll get our other NOCO out. Let that one cool. So I always have a backup of everything. You never know. So we'll get the big boy out. Finish up the job. So we'll get the big beefy boy out. The GBX 155. The little GBX 45 is hot and bothered. So I know from experience, just having these things, that the X series is a lot better jump pack to have, unlike the regular ones, the GBs. Just because you get the extra voltage with the X series, more like battery voltage of your vehicle. Because I got one of the just GB series, and you know you only get the 12.6 volts, and sometimes that is not quite enough. So, sometimes. So same steps. We'll power it on, put an override. We gotta set our welder back to nuclear, which was 85 or so. That's close enough. Move this out of the way. Since the battery pack's so big. Okay, we'll finish our job. Oh yeah. Actually makes the cables jump. Okay, there's that one. Okay, our almost final connection for the battery pack itself. This one. That's got a lot of current going through that sucker. It's actually too hot to hold. Okay, now we got to recreate our little wire tab here, so that's easy enough. So that looks like that looks a lot heavier duty, probably because it is. So maybe. I wonder if I can fold this in half. Because this is ultimately going to carry a lot of current. There's that one. And I only got put like that. So I gotta be careful what I'm doing now. So Let's see. For now, I'll just bend that up. So I want a better weld, so I'm going to turn the power up even more. I want to make sure this is good. I'm happy with that. Okay. So that takes care of this. So this is basically garbage. Now we got to recreate this. So, get some stuff out of the way here. We need to get this off without breaking the plastic. Excuse me, Mr. Welder. So, let's see if I can get under it. See if I can bend them up. Let's see if I can pop it. There's that pop. Okay, there's that. That might have to be soldered, I'm not sure. So this went on our negative side of our battery. So we're going to recreate what they did here. We're going to have to cut this cardboard. So these are 2200 milliamp hour, if you were wondering, and proudly made in China, of course. Just because of why not. So let's see. So if that's the bottom, we only need a little bit at the top for a soldered connection. We're going to mark that right there. Cut that away. Okay, that's close enough. Then we can put that back on top. So more than likely there's not enough there to weld. I'm going to try it. So we're going to turn this up even more because that's really kind of thick. How high does this sucker actually go? 200? Let me try 150. So I don't know how well this is going to work, but we're going to try. Let's see if that's fused, and it actually did. No, it did not. That's what I thought. Maybe. How about if I do this? Let's try this. Yeah, that worked. A little too hot though. That's the only problem, is you weld the lead to the battery. I'm going to say that's good. Not ideal, but it'll work. For something like that, you would never want to do that with a lithium cell. It might friggin' spontaneously combust. So that takes care of that. So now we can put our little probe on. Keep that from falling. I'll put a little piece of tape on it. So this is what I'm going to use to insulate it. Just regular wannabe Captain tape. I think this stuff is called, I think the real term for it is polyamide. It's supposed to be heat resistant and all the other stuff, but who really knows? Okay, that is that. So now we'll just make our little solder connection for our temperature probe. So they had a little welded thing on there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to weld it. I mean, solder it right to the side of the case with a nice hot soldering iron. We need a little bit just to get it connected. Go. That takes care of that. So that's that. Now we'll recreate this. So this is an insulator. So we definitely want, luckily that's rubber, so that's good. So I want to preserve this one. Okay, so all we got to do is just recreate that. So that's going to be an extra long because it gets folded over. So it got folded over like this. Okay. So we'll get some more strip. So this was right there. Not that it matters, the length. So that is that mess. So that went like that. So we're going to turn this over. Of course, now it ain't going to stand up for me. Turn that back down. So I don't completely nuke it. Okay, so our little insulator went like that. Of course, it's not going to stick to anything. So I want that, but I'm going to have to secure that somehow. Probably another little piece of tape. So that went like that. And then it got folded over. So this is going to have to go in upside down. Like that. This got folded over, but before I do that, I should start doing some insulating properties here. At least for this section anyway. It's not going to be pretty, and it doesn't have to be. Enough to prevent shorts. That's all we're looking for. Get stuff out of the way. One little piece here, and then we can fold this over. Like that. I don't have to do that right off the bat. We're going to do our little solder connection here. So that got something like that. Keep that from touching. Because like I said, now this is now a live battery pack, so anywhere where you touch this, you're going to complete a circuit and get a short. So now we'll just connect this wire. Make sure that's pretty beefy. Okay. So like I said, this is now a live battery pack. So they had a little piece of heat shrink on there. So we'll get a little piece out, recreate that, because that gets tucked down inside there. We're going to jam that in there. Then, what do you shrink it with? Fire, of course. Okay. Should we do a voltage test? See what it is? I think so.
Already on auto mode.
19.2 volts.
19.
Hot damn.
About to enter.
She's alive. Oh, we just gotta put it back together. So this thing got jammed down in there. I wonder if there's enough room just to leave it laying on top. Probably not. Get all this junk out of the way. Let's see if we can get that back down in there. Probably not. Probably gonna be annoying. Probably need something with some beef. Jam that back down in there. Because that's how they have it. But we can recreate that. So that's that. Then it's just a matter of finding the sweet spot. So we're just going to jam that probe back down in there. I'm not going to connect it to the side of the pack like they had it. It doesn't really matter in my application. So, nothing other than to do is to put the top on. So I'm going to poke that down in there. It should line up on its own. I have to help it along. Okay, what are you getting hung up on? So actually what I want to do, I want to put a little bit more insulation down there. I'm going to use this stuff just to tuck it under there. So, that got slammed pretty tight like that. This stuff in there. Now it's just a matter of getting that top back down in there. Finding a sweet spot to get it back down in there. Actually, did I just put that in wrong? Yep. I wonder why it won't go on. Get out of here, little LD. Okay, that's that. That looks good. Turn that off.
Already on. Auto mode.
So we got positive that way. So did I wire it correct? I hope so. I would have sucked if I didn't. Yep. I got the voltage. I got the polarity right. So that's awesome. Now, let's see if it'll play with the charger. So I'll get some more crap out of the way. These can go in the garbage. Do I have a charger in here? I have to get one. That's where that will be filed. Under G for garbage. So let me find a battery charger. So here's our 15-minute charger. So we'll plug him in. Brand new, I'd never used it. Beep beep. Hell yeah, it's charging. So that's a successful repair. And of course, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, I don't have all that stuff and it's not worth it and this, that, and the other thing. Well, maybe so. But, like I said earlier in the beginning of the stream, DeWalt doesn't make these packs anymore. You probably could find old school, new old stock, which might be finding a diamond in the rough. But this is the crap you're going to get. Nickel metal hydride. This is the only thing you're going to find. So it's just one of them deals. You know, you go on Amazon, you go on eBay, you see DeWalt battery packs, the DW9096. That's what these are. More than likely, you're going to get nickel metal hydride. So I know there's a couple of DeWalt chargers that will charge both chemistries, but for most people, you're not going to have that one particular charger to charge them up. And it doesn't really matter because they don't last long anyway. So let's just open this one up. And this one's got the security bullshit in it, trying to keep you out. This one have security? Yes, it does. So it's got the pin in the middle of the frickin' screw head. And these have never been apart since it was built. So let's see what kind of garbage is in these things. Because, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I got enough battery cells, or I can do 8 packs. So eventually, when I have the time, I will be doing 7 more of these to have on hand. So as long as they keep making sub-C batteries, I'll just keep making battery packs until all these tools are dead. And it's probably more money than buying. It'll come to the point where it'll be more money to rebuild them constantly than just to buy new tools with the battery in them. But if if you got old tools that you don't really want to discard because there's nothing wrong with them, you can just keep doing this, or just keep getting these crappy nickel metal hydrides. Like I said, I tried the rebuild services that you ship your battery packs out to, but I think they're about half the cost of a brand new pack at the time when DeWalt was still making these nickel NiCad packs. So it was kind of worth it to do a one rebuild and then just get new battery packs after. And that just charged. So that screw is in there pretty good. That was some tough twisting. So what's seen kind of garbage is in these. Of course, I mean, I'm dealing with a life pack here. This is not completely dead, but we're careful. So basically the same crap as DeWalt. Same exact construction. Does have a, the only thing nice about this one, it has a nice plastic insulator for the bottom part. So that's a slight improvement. So these are the cells that are in them. So whatever these are, SC-RHYXK11 nickel metal hydride, they're garbage. So this pack will be converted over to NiCad in the future. Not today though. And that is that. So we got one that's live. 7 more to go. So that's that. A little bit more cleanup to do. And of course now the OBS is not going to play nice because it's been running too long. So we got to do it manually. Stupid OBS. They can't figure it out. So let's see, how long are we running? Another little over an hour, you know. So yeah, so however much time, what did it do? Take me 50 minutes to rebuild the pack. Of course, that's not even including the prep time of cutting the strips and getting the whole shop set up for rebuilding this. But you know, it's going to be one of them issues where, you know, if you have the value of the tools and stuff like that, then yeah, you'll rebuild the packs. But otherwise, you get the tools with the sled. Boom, bang, done. Yeah, they got some at least these things do have some cell protection, battery pack protection, where it won't let you kill that battery 100%. So that's what I like about the new lithium cells, is that they won't let you destroy the battery packs. But even on their own, if you don't buy genuine battery packs, like that one I just showed you, that was a clone DeWalt, they're decent. The only thing you got to watch for is every once in a while, 1 or 2 cells in each pack will just die on its own. So I should have live streamed it, but I had one of them clone battery packs with 2 bad cells in them that I just swapped the cells out. Got plenty of 18650s. You're gonna have, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to get like 25 or 30 R cells to actually use in a battery pack like that. Otherwise, if you get anything shorter, like these are 20 Rs. And if you remember, I had rebuilding a cordless vacuum, and I used these cells. These don't have enough ass. They got nice capacity, 3,500 milliamp hour, which is about the biggest you're going to get for 18650, but they're only rated for 20 amps. And believe it or not, that little, I think it's Toppin stick vac, it draws more than 20 amps on full suck. So these couldn't keep it. So I had to get the lesser capacity but more higher amperage cells to take care of that battery pack. So I ended up rebuilding it twice, but it's a good battery pack now. It's still better than factory. So that's just one of the weird things. And I think I had 1 or 2 of them sled packs where the 1 or 2 cells just died in them. I just swap them out. Same thing, take it apart. I got the welder, boom, boom. 15 minutes, battery pack's good as new. So we had a good successful run of getting this 25-year-old DeWalt battery pack running again. Of course, the only thing that is still 25 years old is the carcass, the shell, and the terminals. Of course, now everything inside it is brand new. So we'll put a little rebuild sticker on there, so I can remember of when I rebuilt it. So I'll get my awesome label maker out, and we'll put a label on it. Oh, label. Got that guy, got that kind. Let's see what's in here. 1/4 inch. I don't want 1/4 inch. I want something bigger. So let's see. 1/2 inch. That's heat shrink tube. 1/2 inch permanent tape. So one thing I like about this label maker, it does print on heat shrink. So when you're doing wires, you can mark wires like I showed, stuff like that. So this says the Power Tac 4200 flashlight or torch. So let's see, 3/8, 1/2 inch. Okay. So we're going to put reselled. And what's nice about this, you can put 2 lines. So 6, 7, 25. 6-7-25. Print. Probably won't be able to see it. No, not really. Friggin'. But it says resell. Will it last 25 years? Well, actually, not really. Like this battery pack it's been around here for 25 years. Otherwise, if it gets 2 years out of it, I'd be happy. Before I have to do it again, and again, and again, and again. Come on, peel. So there. Like I said, that battery pack is now refreshed, renewed for its ultimate demise of being killed again. So originally I was going to do another video, live stream on Jay's strobe light of replacing the one transistor in it. Hopefully that it would trigger, but it didn't come. Supposedly it's supposed to come today, but Postal Service dropped the ball. So they couldn't get it out of its own way. The Postal Service sucks. They only want to do like 5 days delivery now, they're talking about. Who knows? I don't think they know. So, that's that. We got one good pack. 4 bad ones. And 3 more that are waiting to be rebuilt. So, with that, I guess we'll call it a day for the current live stream. So, for those who watched, probably the best live stream I had 43 unique views, with 2 currently still watching. So for those who have watched from beginning to end, which I only think was 1, I don't know who it is. Thanks for watching. For those who watched the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe, and all that other good stuff. And we will see you on the next stream.
Channels, what do I see? A time machine wizard fixing tech with glee. Old gadgets, new life, he's the chosen one. Every broken circuit, he's gonna get it done. From vintage TVs to your old cassette, with the trusty soldering iron, there's no regrets. Turning back the clock, making them shine. Rolling TARDIS magic is simply divine. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. He's got the flow, he's got the style. Every DIY hack makes it all worthwhile. Capacitors dancing, resistor in line. With the grin on his face, he's crossing the tide. From video games to the stereo's beat, rolling TARDIS brings the fix, can't accept defeat. Watch him unravel, watch him restore. Every creak and pop, you're gonna want more. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the mic track. So gather round, folks, it's more than a show. It's a journey through time, come on, let's go. At every episode, the wonders unfold. Rolling TARDIS, a story to be told. No broken dreams in his workshop space, just a passion for fixing, a welcoming place. Each step of the way, you'll learn something new. From repairing a lamp to a classic Atari 2. With a twist of his wrench and a turn of the dial, you'll be flipping through channels in no time will smile. Throw your hands up, it's a community vibe. Feel that electric pulse, feel that old tribe. Get your gear ready, let's spark up the chat. Rolling TARDIS is the name, remember that. Like and subscribe, join the crew. send them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So if you've got gadgets that need a good home, Rolling 20s is the place, no need to roam. With every new fix, you'll feel the blast. Join the journey now, let's make tech last.